So I cannot speak highly enough about the power and the benefit of being in the observer mode when, right, not necessarily all the time, or giving it the main focus, the main kind of the goal of life, but the beauty, the power, the necessity, the benefit of, especially in tough moments when we're in mental, emotional sort of whirlwinds, and or confusion and or uncertainty, of just having this mental, emotional neutrality, zooming out just enough where that you, as the core essence, call it the core essence, the soul, the heart, the whatever, the spirit, where you're just there, mentally, emotionally neutral. You're just there. You're in this observer mode. You're maybe having thoughts or emotions that are just going back and forth and trying to pull you into it, right? Kind of like somebody who's really into gossip and drama, trying to pull you into it, like, hey, like, can you believe this and this happened? Can you believe this person did this and that and the other thing? And trying to just, like, take you down on their level and beat you with their experience, right? That Einstein quote, where it's like, either Einstein or Mark Twain, whatever. Paraphrasing, but it's like, never argue with an idiot. They will take you down to their level, and then they will beat you with experience, because they have experience down there in the dumps, so to speak. And they will win the argument because they have experience in that realm, essentially. So, kind of catering to that aspect, when we become zoomed out just a little bit, right? Not zoomed out so much that you're like, well, like, what is life? You know, life is just atoms and molecules, and we're just, you know, zooming by. If we get too apathetic and nihilistic about life, that's when it becomes too far. That's when it becomes a quote-unquote problem of sorts, right? I put that in quotes because the way that a human can perceive life, the way that I perceive life, and the way that I consider a great benefit for anyone to perceive, is essentially, it's optimism with a bit of integrated wholesomeness, where we can get too spacey or too angry at something, or too involved in something, or not involved enough about something, etc., etc. We can go too far, or we can go not far enough, right? This type of stuff. But at the end of the day, that's a sort of judgment in relativity. Like, oh, we went too far. Or we'll make it, like, more individual. Like, ooh, like I took it too far. And then the wholesome objectivity, the voice from above is like, what do you mean too far? You could make the argument that you didn't go far enough, and also too far in reference to what? In relativity to what? Too far in your subjective viewpoint, perhaps, etc., etc. And then this, voice can also say, like, you went too far, or, right, or ... did you just expand your capacity, at least in observation, and then if going further, perhaps you expanded your capacity to understand this category of existence, of lifestyle, of engagement with the world, right? So it's these types of thoughts, it's these types of observations, these types of internal engagements that really grow a person, and in connection with this observer mode, where you're just observing, you're just calmly making these observations, making these connections, and if there's any emotion at all, it's like it's with a slight amount of wholesomeness, a slight amount of care, where you're observing, you're watching these things unfold, you're feeling all your feels, you're thinking all your thoughts, you're seeing all of these things, like you're sensing all of these senses, right? These 6, 7 plus senses. If we're doing 5 sense plus thought as its own thing, plus emotion as its own thing, plus intuitive, right? Currents as its own thing. So there's 8 senses right there. Don't even get me started. But anyway, so we're referencing all of these things. We're absorbing, we're observing. Ooh, isn't that interesting? Observing, absorbing. I love words. But anyway, wholesome moments. Right. I must have gotten blasted in the right side of the brain, because the left brain's like, dude, we had an overload of wholesomeness. What do we do? It's alright. Let me log my left brain back in. This is actually really funny. What was I talking about? I'll get it. And obviously, if you're watching this video, it's like, you were talking about this. It's obvious. I was just listening to you. Rewind the video. I can't rewind the video. This is happening right now. This is lucidity in pivotal moments. Pivotal lucidity. I kind of like that. I'm going to write that down. I really like that. What if I just made that my YouTube channel name? Oh, yeah. Oh, observer mode. It says, so yeah. But honestly, I think I've talked about this enough. I'll just leave it with this concept of, hey, to zoom out just enough to have just a tinge of care and wholesomeness as you're emotionally neutrally just observing through the senses your life. No judgments. Life is just happening, and you're like, okay, this is happening. Where are connections happening? Where are these moments? And they don't even have to necessarily make sense. You don't have to necessarily make connections. It's just holding space, right? Holding space, observing, and letting things unfold. It's merely an existing. Just existing. I forgot about this concept, but it relates, or it's synonymous. Sometimes just existing is good enough. Sometimes just existing is good enough, in the sense of sometimes just existing is exactly what the doctor ordered. Sometimes just existing is exactly what I would greatly benefit from right here, right now. Sometimes just existing, or we'll word it as in the now, just existing, just feeling, just holding space, whatever term you want to use, is exactly what I need. Just existing, just observing and flowing and absorbing and letting and allowing is exactly what I need. Think about that, feel about that, do about that, hold space about that, observe about that, absorb about that. Alright, catch you later.